And we are halfway there in this season of the Highline Racing League ASC Services and Supply Series Race 8 of 16. And every driver in this league is ready to live on the prayer and take on the Rockingham Speedway. And of course, our 8th event, the Stadium Scene TV 150. I'm David Kreutz, your host of tonight's broadcast. I hope you do enjoy this presentation as we kick things off in qualifying for tonight's showdown. It's going to be 5 minutes, 2 laps for every driver to get everyone acclimated to the circuit one final time around. As it's going to be Kenny Brooks on his way for the first lap in this session. He goes way high that time by. Andrew Baker going to be on the move as well in the Kodiak number 43. Kendall Kerr going to be on pit road as it stands. Connor Holden going to be in the 81. And Jackson Hartman in the 19. It looks like going to be in a bit of a different paint scheme, although it does not look to be aligned just right. It's going to be a much different look for the man in that number 19 machine in Jackson Hartman. We'll try to find out why that is the case. Doesn't look like he's on the right number set as Tyler Rush in a rush makes it by the line. That time by, he is second on the board. Terry Brooks, the top man, until Brad Kress usurps him, and Brad Kress makes it so with a 24.039 out in front. Then it's going to be Scott Wheeler there in second. Caleb Morrissey going to be in third. Down Thunder Alley, the two of the four horsemen actually going to be second and third in qualifying, as Brad Kress is still the top man. Connor Holden that time by going to be able to take it up into second. Matthew Rodriguez goes up to first on his last lap, only to get passed once again by the Elder Brooks machine. It's going to be the 23 machine older on the track when it comes to time he put down, as he was there longer, got those tires warmed up, and it's going to be the tires that make the difference here at Rockingham. An extra tire set is going to be applied if needed for these drivers. It's going to be in their arsenal of tools, as the 26 machine on your screen is in fact the 19 on timing. So Jackson Hartman, a bit of a different look. If it's meant to be right, we're not sure. He comes down pit road, and it looks like he's going to come down very slowly. The misaligned number 19 machine aligns himself with the yellow line as Chad Winstead goes provisional pole that time by, and he's still got one more in the tank. Number 34 machine, as always, representing Valvoline, and coming down the line this time by, it's going to be another heater for the man in a 34. Looks to be dead even with his last lap, if not just a bit slower. And a bit slower it was, but still a great lap nonetheless. That's going to be a 23.968 on the board for the man in the number 34. Jason Harris going to be on his way shortly. Ryan Putter is already on his way, and he's on to his first lap of qualifying here. So getting things started, the 99 machine is, and it looks like the shipped sponsorship is going to be shipped all the way down the start-finish line, and he makes it so. Now, the number 99 machine takes it up to 18th of 19 time laps, and Alan Kuhlman, Darlington winner 2 weeks ago, is going to be 12th on the board with Casey Eschel right behind him in 13th. And the two Flow Racing drivers coincidentally going to be on the track at the same time. Kuhlman coming out of line that time by, takes himself up into 7th. What does Casey Heschel have to offer? Coming around the stripe at a very similar pace. He looks to be 2/10 up on his last lap, and he's going to be right in the same range as Kuhlman, but make it 5th spot on the board for the man in the number 49 machine. That is Casey Heschel taking it up to the top 5 here in qualifying. Ryan Potter could have done it in 19th. James McKee, a winner twice already in this season, Daytona and Dover. And right now going to be 17th after his first lap. Coming out of the line once again for SB Designs, it's going to be, and as it stands, it's going to be Jason Harris, 22nd on the board. We apologize for a brief interruption. It appears that our systems had a bit of a glitch. We did not lose connection to the iRacing server, but something else behind the scenes went awry. So we apologize for that brief interruption here in qualifying as we get things sorted out one more time around. Jason Harris going to be just inside the top 25 so far. Has a little more to go if he wants to improve on this tonight, as it will go on. It'll be a total of about 147 laps as it stands. It will be 150 miles overall that time, but Jason Harris takes it up into 18th, and Matthew Rodriguez is going to be in 7th now in the number 51. Rodriguez that time by going to go just a bit high in his Toyota Camry for Steak and Shake. The 51 shakes it down to the bottom, and I believe that will be it in qualifying, as we will get ready to grid up and get your starting grid at the same time. It's going to be the 51 machine there in 7th, but he won't be on the top of the board, and we'll get your top scoring driver in qualifying on the screen. Give us just a moment here as your starting grid loads up one more time before we go racing here in the Rock. And drivers going to be able to get onto the grid very quick. We have a total of 147 laps on the agenda tonight, and right now your pole sitter is in fact on the track. So without further ado, let's get right into your starting grid for tonight's event. This is the Stadium Scene TV 150, and to set the scene, Chad Winstead takes provisional pole, and he makes it legitimate pole, 23.929 for the man at number 34. From there on out, going to be Terry Brooks in second, 23.97 with Jackson Hartman in third. Dead heat for second. Kendall Kerr going to be in fourth, 23.979 on his end. Then it's going to be Casey Heschel in fifth, 23.98. Scott Wheeler going to be in sixth, 6/1000th off of him. Outside row number 3, 97 Machine's going to be. He's going to be right in front of Matthew Rodriguez. Rodriguez puts it 7th on the board with a dead heat with Amanda number 8 machine. Position number 8, Alan Kuhlman, 23.998. Row number 4 is indeed Connor Holden. Hold on, he will be there in the 9th spot, 24.012 for him. It's going to be Brad Crest there in 10th, 24.039 to round out your first 10 drivers here in qualifying. From there on out, it's going to be James McKee in 11th, 24.039 for him. And then it's going to be Roberto Ramirez with a 24.065. And it's going to be a great run for Tyler Rush, 24.088 in 13th. And outside row number 7 is going to be Corey Blevins in 13th, 24.1 flat for him. Colton Gardner going to be able to make himself known, 15th spot on the board, 24.119 for him. Kayla Morris going to have a 24.135 with Dylan Clark in 17th, having a 24.144. Jason Harris climbs into the top 20 for tonight's event. He was starting the 24th position. It looked like he was, but now he climbs up to 18th. So he'll have a 24.171 in 18th, right in front of Andrew Baker, 4,000s ahead for 18th. Andrew Baker starts 19th, 24.175. And that's going to be Ryan Potter, and he's going to make it so 20th spot on the board with a 24.210. And from there on out, the field goes as follows. Chance Duckworth's going to have a 24.221. Kenny Brooks is going to be there in the mix. It's going to be a 24.456 for him. Then it's going to be DJ Stagger 23rd, Adam Bozzi 24th, Dylan Petit's going to be in 25th, and Jacob Hom keeps it calm. He'll start in 26th. It's going to be Dalton Beer there in 27th, and Dylan Body in position number 28. And that will be your starting grid for tonight's event here in the Highline Racing League ASC Premier Series. It's going to be the Stadium Scene TV 150 at the Rock, and we'll get your time and scoring right back up on your screen. As it stands, though, no driver hitting the loud pedal just yet, and a big update coming to iRacing in the next-gen machines. The new damage model is in full swing, so you're going to be seeing some very intense wrecks if we get any, but we've had a very clean string of races. Watkins Glen, Darlington, Dover, to name just a few, Michigan as well. So let's see if that will be the tale these guys want to tell. This time around, it's going to be a man in the number 34, leading them all off, 147 laps to get it done. The iRacing official pace car takes it down to pit road once again, and Chad Winstead going to be able to lead the way from Terry Brooks this time around. It will be the first time we go green here in the Stadium Scene TV 150. And a nice and smooth opening lap for Chad Winstead. That's the way you want to start it. He's going to be there, top of the board in that number 34. Then it's going to be Jackson Hartman in second with Terry Brooks there in third. A nice and easy start, but the caution's going to fly immediately. Lap number 2 out of 147. Let's find out just why that happened. Gardner going to be in the back of the field. Kenny Brooks there as well. Big damage to him, and you can see that front end has a major pound in there. It's going to be a big dent as Ramirez going to get into Ryan Potter. Then Brooks bounces into Dylan Clark. Clark blinks, and they're all going to get into one another. You can see Colton Gardner gets tapped, and then the 40 machine gets back on again. And that is going to be wreck number 1 of tonight's event. Chad Winstead still the top man on the board with Jackson Hartman there in second. Terry Brooks is not going to be there. It's going to be Terry Brooks in position number 3. And Casey Heschel going to be there in 4th with Kendall Kerr rounding at your top 5. Scott Wheeler going to be 6th. Alan Kuhlman going to be in position number 7. And Matthew Rodriguez will be 8th as we are just getting things kicked off. And Winstead leads the way here in Rockingham, and not a long green flag run, so not indicative at all too much as we get things started and it looks like Winstead has one of the cars to beat so far, but it remains to be seen whether or not it will be like that all night long. The track will continue to develop, and it will continue to change. So I tell you what, a major change could be in the cards for some of these drivers so far, that they all look to be awful consistent, and that's the way you want to see it. The 34 out in front, not much trouble. Jackson Hartman going to be there in second. Terry Brooks going to be in third, with Casey Heschel there indeed in fourth. So your top five is just about stagnant. Tendo Kerr going to be in that mix. Scott Wheeler will be in sixth. And we'll see what these guys choose to do when they're going to be able to get back on the roll here, as I don't believe any driver, without, of course, being involved in an incident, will have a reason to go down pit road this time around. Andrew Baker going to be on pit road, though. He will go one lap down immediately after these guys cross the start-finish line. And Jason Harris looks to have already gone down pit road about a lap early, gets a newer set of tires. Might be an alternate strategy for him. It looks like trying to get a bit of an edge on tires due to an early caution, and came out in his favor, as Kenny Brooks comes down to pit road, and he'll be the first man on pit road 4 laps in out of a total of 134. And add 14 to that, as we will settle the score very soon. As you can see, the number 54 machine on his way. It's going to be a great run, of course, for the 54 if he can get it back on the track on the lead lap, but I don't think that'll happen for now. We get stage breaks on your screen. Give us just a moment to get that up there, and the information for tonight's event, well, a total of 147 laps. Indeed it is, here in Rockingham. But to go along with that information, we of course have our stage breaks. So let's get into what those are, and of course when they come out in terms of the race in its entirety. First one's going to be lap number 40. Next one's going to be lap number 80. So about halfway into this one, we get our second stage break. Quarterway has one, then halfway, and then we get down to the end of it. And that's going to be the longest run of them all. That's how we like to do it here in the Highline Racing League. Started off short, but get it longer as it all goes on. And it seems to have been the way to get a lot of successful, good racing it as the season has persisted. That's going to be your stage break analysis for tonight's event. 40, 80, and then 147 to get through tonight's event. And as we get back into it, Chad Winstead chooses the low line here, and it's going to be the man in that number 19 going up high in the same token. It's going to be Terry Brooks down real low, and the fourth man going to be now Casey Heschel up high. The choose rule has been utilized, and now we get back into it once again. As you can see, double file. Looks like it's going to be 1 lap to green this time by. We should be good to go from here on out, and hopefully we'll get a longer green flag run. Let's get right to it once again. Down Thunder Alley, but at a pacing speed, and hopefully next time it will be at a racing speed. 1 green flag lap thus far. 6 laps in out of 147. That's the way we're going to be able to do it. Jackson Hartman going to be there in second. Terry Brooks will be in third, and Casey Heschel will be there in fourth. And the iRacing official pace car will lead him in once again. Rockingham is known to take away a lot of grip on those tires as the night goes on. You want to be very patient with the way you use your equipment. And right now, Winstead does not have to worry about that at all. Let's get right to it once again. Going to be the 34 and the 19 doing it once more. Here we go. The 34 gets it going, and the first restart's on the way. And Winstead back on the move there. It's going to be Terry Brooks in second spot. Jackson Hartman going to be battling side by side with him almost immediately. And he's going to get a run up high, try to make it work. And it's going to be side by side now with Casey Heschel. Jackson Hartman is looking on board with him right now. And you can see that number 19 machine is in a load of pressure. And down to the inside, Casey Heschel has it there for third. Doesn't get it, though. It's going to be Hartman persisting and keeping himself in that podium battle. Here we go. It's going to be Matthew Rodriguez right now, single foul. It's going to be now a few guys going down to the inside line trying to get something going. And it's going to be first, of course, the number 51 machine going almost around. Does he save it? Matthew Rodriguez in a bit of trouble. It looks like he does. Dylan Clark gets by. It's going to be Ryan Potter there. Tyler Rush, they take him 3 wide. And the 51 able to save it, but not without near incident, and thankfully the calamity was avoided, and we'll be good to go from there on out. It's going to be double foul though, the 42 machine and Caleb Morrissey, as a multitude of drivers fall to the back of the field as a result of that near miss, and thankfully it was indeed a near miss and not a wreck. All 27 drivers who got the green flag are still on the leading lap on that circuit. Colton Gardner last of which there in 27. Jacob Holmlow going to be a bit of trouble, it appears, slowing down just a bit on his end there, and it's going to be Adam Bozzi now right in front of the battle for 19th. Adam Bozzi's in 17th here, and Caleb Morrissey clears a lane on Chance Duckworth. Duckworth back in the swing. He's going to be outside the top 20 now as Dylan Petit gets right by him. Petit, oh so close to winning in Michigan last time we went racing. Was not meant to be for him, and now trying to make it something of a redemption story. However, right now, Chad Winstead out in front by about 5 seconds on Dylan Petit, and out in front by about 0.3 of a second over Terry. And Casey Heschel right now going to be in 4th on the board. Jackson Hartman going to be side by side with them. Now, we do apologize for any interruptions on our service tonight. Now, what we heard from our internet service provider is they shut down our signal. It's now going to be at a much more challenging rate for us to keep going. However, we're going to keep it kicking all the way. Should have enough to go all the way through this event, but the stutters might be a little more frequent than we would like. Internet service provider shut us down, but we're still going, as it's going to be Alan Kuhlman with Kendall Kerr side by side. The 8 machine, the 21 were, but Kendall Kerr keeps it going. You can see now running down the back, Alan Kuhlman trying to keep it right up with him, and the Flow Racing number 8 machine going with the flow right now, getting right up to his teammate, and Kendall Kerr, however, holds on in the 6th position. 14 laps in out of 147. Now Kendall Kerr goes down to the inside line on Jackson Hartman, and Hartman falling back big, going to be moved by not one but 2 drivers in the same token, and now the number 8 machine gets up to 6th. Jackson Hartman falls down into 7th, and Connor Holden holds on for 8th, and now trying to go for something a bit more. It looks like the Blacktop Racing boys all bunched up. You can see James McKee now in frame. He's going to be in the 9th position as it stands, and it looks like getting closer and closer to making a move on Connor Holden. Right now, the 81 machine has been able to hold strong, as we've said, holding on inside that top 10, but 8th position, not where he wants to be right now, with a lot of pressure behind him. James McKee getting closer and closer. Let's look on board with the number 9 machine and see what's going on. And 16 in out of 147, you can see the top 10, top 15 guys are all spread out. Right now, the entire field on 27, spread out by 10 seconds. Last man on the lead lap going to be Kenny Brooks. He is on the lead lap, so a great recovery on that mark, but it looks like nothing more has gone his way. James McKee that time not able to get a good run on the 81. He'll try to get a better one off 3 and 4 here. As they go through the middle, it looks like McKee uses a bit of a higher groove. Does he get the run he wants? Just a bit more, so it's going to be a bit more of an even playing field as a result. That's the strategic type of decision you have to make in the heat of the moment. McKee able to make it nice and smooth. It's going to be, of course, a gentle rise through the field as the 9 machine gets by Holden. He'll have to get by Hartman as well to get up to his teammates right now, as the man leading the Blacktop Racing bunch is going to be Kendall Kerr, and the 4 horsemen represented in position number 4, defending champion in Scott Wheeler, is going to be just outside of your podium. Now, we haven't talked all too much about the championship standings, as it has been a bit of a wild card every week, winning race after race, but as it stands, it's gotten a bit different. We have started a sort of shift through indeed, to get more of a refined championship look. And as it stands, Adam Bozzi, as a matter of fact, is your championship points leader. He's 15th on the board right now, but he has a 10-point advantage over James McKee. The 27 machine has proved that consistency is key. 7 drivers are within 20 points of your championship leader right now. That goes back to Terry Brooks in 7th. And it looks like those guys are all still in the cards to make something happen for their championship run. Wheeler desperately needs to get by a guy like Brooks, desperately needs to get by a guy like Chad Winstead as well. But right now, Chad Winstead has very little competition on the racing surface. It looks like that's what's going to be the remainder of the event if he just keeps it out in front. 21 in out of 147. He's the cleanest man out front so far. Nice run. It has been indeed for Chad Winstead. Take a look at the middle of the pack right now. It looks like Jason Harris fighting there with Caleb Morrissey, and Morrissey going to be 6th on the board in the championship standings going into tonight's event, and 20th on the charts right now. Certainly going to be one of the trickier tracks Rockingham is indeed, and right now it looks like he's falling prey to it. Caleb Morrissey is. Side by side, Jason Harris takes him, and it looks like Jason Harris makes him fall 1 position back. A nice and smooth move for the man at number 8 machine as he backs it down and backs it right up to the man right in front of him, and Chance Duckworth, or he tries to. Right now, though, no dice. He'll have to keep moving and go forward as the night goes on. It's going to be a procession for him. It's going to be much harder for Caleb Morrissey to make it back, as now Jacob Halm has kept it calm and has gotten much closer to the man in that number 76. Take a look on board with the number 6 machine, Caleb Morrissey. You could see Halm goes way wide there. Matthew Rodriguez, though, has a word or two for him. And now the 51 leads this battle to chase down Caleb Morrissey. And whoever gets Morrissey might be able to get a position or two out of that as well, as it seems like now the number 6 machine is able to pull away just slightly, but not all too much. The 6 machine keeps going, and the channel lock number 6 indeed locks it down for his Ford Mustang, representing the 4 Horsemen. As it stands, though, Chad Winstead, a manufactured teammate to the 4 Horsemen, but an independent overall, has been able to lead this one. He's been independent on his own frame all night long, but now Terry Brooks is within 0.3 of a second. Once again, that time by, though, he did not gain any time. He actually lost just a bit, and while it might seem like he's gained a bit more time, it seems like that was due to a mistake beforehand, but he's compounding more and more time. Chad Winstead is, and adding it to his lead. Casey Hesher goes down to the inside line. That time by, it's going to be Terry Brooks right there with him, and now Scott Wheeler going to be in the 4th position, with Kendall Kerr there in 5th. Going to be Alan Kuhlman, though, in 6th right now, and it seems like every driver up in front holding their own weight right now. Not much aggression, not much to speak of, to say the least, but it seems like these guys have been able to play consistent, and they have been awful persistent, and that's what you love to see. Is Scott Wheeler going to get really squirrely that time by. He's able to save it. And now these guys, single file, looking to pull away more and more. Adam Bozzi, your points leader, going to tonight's event, goes side. And Adam Bozzi, that time by, going to make it so a DJ Stagger. Nice maneuver for the numbers. 27 machine is the Swamp Motorsports machine getting drowned out, but it looks like Bozzi going to go way up the track that time by. Not what I wanted to see, as it looks like the 72 of Tyler Rush gets right back to him. And now Rush is going to be in 15. TJ Stagger going to be in the 14th spot. Ryan Potter right in front of this battle, oversees it all. Nobody's been able to catch up to him except for the man Dylan Clark. And Clark in that number 12 spot now is getting closer and closer to Brad Kress in the number 29. 28 laps in out of 147, and Dylan Clark holds on strong in this one. He's just inside that top dozen, but getting closer to making a move on Brad Kress. We've seen these guys race, of course, week after week, but very close to one another. They have been. An incident at Darlington, we saw them oh so close up in the top 5 in Michigan, but now here at the Rock, it's going to be Clark going down on the inside once again. He has an awful lot of room to make something happen, but no momentum, so Brad Kress holds on to that position without much of a fight. And Corey Blevins going to be in that number 13 machine, 10th on the board right now. Nice and smooth. Blevins coming to his own as of recent. A lot of great runs in succession. Nice and smooth Corey Blevins has been. And 30 laps in out of 147. He's just inside that top 10, holding strong, getting closer to Connor Holden. As Holden right now is going to be in 9th. James McKee going to be in 7th as he gets by not only Connor Holden, but Jackson Hartman. And Hartman, the man who started in that top 2, has now fallen back into 8th. Not too bad, but he has losing a lot more spots than he wanted to, and losing a bit more time that time by. The 8 machine in position might fall down to 9th as Connor Holden that time by gets a great exit and gets closer and closer. That time by Jackson Hartman, 0.2 of a second slower than Connor Holden, and 0.3 slower than James McKee. As McKee that time by tries to make a pass on his teammate and Alan Goodman. Does it work? Maybe it does, maybe it does not, and it's going to be a lot of high side driving for the number 9 machine. He takes it nice and smooth right through the apex there, and he gets by. Now James McKee going to be in 6th, chasing down his teammate, and Kendall Kerr there in 5th. Your top 5 separated by about 2.5 seconds. Your top 2, Casey Heschel and Chad Winstead, only separated by 0.3 of a second, and it looks like Heschel that time by gets really close to losing it. He does save it, but it looks like a bit of an alternative strategy to try to keep up with the man in that 34. Winstead, the lap before, was slower, but this time he's about 1/10 of a second quicker, so all the time he perhaps could have lost, he gains it all back just like that, and it seems like the driver has the consistency or the persistence of that number 34. AC Heschel going to be there in 2nd. It's going to be Scott Wheeler in 3rd, as the top 5 guys are still oh so far apart. The closest battle in the racing circuit going to be in the middle of the field. It's going to be Matthew Rodriguez right now gaining in on Jason Harris and Chance Duckworth. And Duckworth right now steals the show. He's holding himself nice and smooth in 19th. I'd love to see it. Great battles throughout the field. Harris goes down to the inside line that time by, and it looks like Duckworth gives an awful lot of room. Not enough for an incident that time by. They have about a car length within them and a car width as well. So Duckworth holds on strong. Jason Harris tries to go down to the inside line. Does he do so? Yes, he does, but not without enough momentum to make a pass. And 35 in out of 147. It looks like it's going to be now side by side between Rodriguez and the Jason Harris machine, and they're going to be adjacent to one another. It looks like that time by Rodriguez has the edge, and the high side going to reign supreme. Maybe, maybe not. No, it won't. Jason Harris gets a big big run back off as it looked like Rodriguez got a bit squirrely that time by, and that is the price you pay. Bigger risk, a bigger reward if you can pull it off successfully, and successfully Rodriguez gets it next time by. But he did almost lose it there off of turn number 2, and we've seen that time and time again at Rockingham. A tricky track no matter how you slice it. Right now, 36 laps in at 147. Every driver knows that, and Rodriguez in a big load of trouble that time by. You could see he had that pass made, and now we'll have to fight for it once more. Jason Harris tries to one-up him there, as it looks like Casey Escher comes down pit road this time by. 36 laps in out of 147. It could be the first strategic pit stop, and that I believe it is, as Chad Winstead is your race leader even still. Scott Wheeler going to be in second, and 37 in out of 147. This will be a major multi-stopper if Casey Heschel is not done for the night, and I don't believe he is, but the 49 machine coming in from just inside the podium, now going through every single pit stall to make it in, and he's going to be able to back it down that time by. He does have some minor damage. We'll take a look at just where it originated here, as Heschel was right in that battle in position number 2. And you can see he gets squirrely and gets right up into the wall, and he rides that wall and goes down, hits the wall again, and iRacing's new damage model will not have its favorites. It's going to take one contender out immediately there, and you can take a close-up look. That number 49 machine has some major scrapes on the front end. That will impact the motor, and that will take them several laps down. Heschel, as is, going to be 2 down, as Chad Winstead is still your race leader, 39 in out of 147. And a hard lick for the man in the number 49 machine. Terry Brooks is going to be in third as it stands. He's now going to be given one more spot, as Scott Wheeler is now in second, 2 seconds back. And the field spread out by 22 seconds. The last of which now going to be Andrew Baker, as it looks like Baker coming down the pit road this time by. Is it a strategic stop for him? I don't believe it will be. He lets one man go, and now comes back on pit road. Casey Heschel is retired from this event. Dalton Beer right now chasing down Kenny Brooks, as Brooks gets up into the 24th. You look up throughout the field, everyone's going to be dispersed except for the battle in the middle of the pack. Roberto Ramirez is going to be there with Corey Blevins fighting for 15th, and Ramirez goes down to the inside once again. 41 in out of 147. They'll be coming to lap 42 this time by, and it looks like the 42 does get the edge in this battle. Nice job. It's not completed, however, if Corey Blevins has anything to say about it, and it looks like for now he does not. So Roberto gets it done just for the moment. We'll see if that moment becomes eternity. That time by, down the stripe, Ramirez has a major edge as Andrew Baker goes 1 down and gets back on his way. This could be the first strategic stop in its own right, and we are unsure which is going to be the official first pit stop for strategy, or if it's going to be for damage. It looks like the 43 will be more so on the prior than the latter. It looks like the former is the way to go for him. Chad Winstead is still your leading man tonight. Scott Wheeler going to be in second, and Terry Brooks going to be in third. How we take a look at a man in that top 10? Brad Crest now has been passed by Dylan Clark, but it seems these two have been magnetized to one another. They always seem to attract each other on the racing circuit, and for good reason right now, as a battle goes on right behind him. It's going to be DJ Stagner, who was outside the top 20 to begin this race, now in 11th. A great run for Stagner so far, driving through this field, and it seems like his experience time after time racing in the Integrated Racing League, where they took on Rockingham much earlier in the season, is paying off. He got experience in the Xfinity Series machines, and while these things do drive different, it looks like right now all the experience from the track means more than the individual car you drive, as Stagner now gaining in closer and closer to Brad Crest. Take a look on board. And DJ goes down to the inside line on Brad Crest that time by. You could see the 29 going to be just inside your frame. And now Brad takes it up high. DJ going to have to respond with another move. We'll see whether or not he's able to take it that time through. It looks like he almost does. And 45 in out of 147. He backs off, thinks better of it for now. And we'll see if he thinks better of it later. Of course, so much time in this event for action to be seen, and right now very little has been put together by DJ Stagner when it comes to battling with Brad Crest, holding off until a later date, it appears, as 46 in out of 147. We still have more than 100 laps to do to get things settled. So right now, it looks like only one driver has come down pit road for any reason. That's going to be, it looks like the 43 once again of Andrew Baker. And we saw him exit pit road before he came back in. Chad Winstead right now ripping the high groove as it appears to be the fastest way around the circuit. 47 in out of 147. Now Scott Wheeler going to be a bit of trouble because he gets squirrely that time by, and Harry Brooks getting chased by James McKee. Last time we checked up on James McKee, he was in the 9th position, and time has been flying, and I'm thinking a guy like him's having an awful lot of fun. The 9 machine now going to be just outside the podium. Does he make it just inside this time by? He tries to. At the line, gets close, no cigar. Does he make the cigar happen this time by? Metaphorically speaking, it looks like no, but now he's almost physically right there with the 23. Side by side down the stripe. It looks like they might be as down Thunder Alley. There were indeed, but it's going to be James McKee clearing the number 23 in due time, and he gets it done with 100 laps to go on the board. Chad Winstead makes it less than that and make that 99 to do it. It's going to be the man out in front, the 34, with Scott Wheeler in the 97, still there in second, as McKee is still the fastest man on this track, and now chasing down the driver in second. James McKee that time by gets through efficiently and effectively. Scott Wheeler might have reason to be worried that time by. He was about a 10th of a second slower than your leader, and James McKee that time around, well, we'll see. Chad Winstead runs a 25.091, Wheeler runs a 25.158, and James McKee runs a 25.298, so it seems to be a logical order of progression in lap times, as Terry Brooks going to be the 4th quickest man in that equation, 4.79 on his end, and Connor Holden down in the 25.0 range. He actually looks to be the fastest man on the track as is. He runs a lap just about a 10th of a second faster than your man out in front. Great showing from Connor Holden as he now makes his way back up inside the top 10. It looks like a few guys going down the pit road, not just yet, but it has been a nice and smooth run. Connor Holden gaining more and more spots back as Dylan Clark now right there battling with DJ Stagner. Side by side they go. No, but it looks like there's going to be a big shuffle in position that time by. Some guys going up, down, and around, and now it's going to be a big move as a number 31 machine, Dylan Petit, puts himself on the wall trying to make it happen, and they'll be 3 abreast. Alan Kuhlman almost makes contact that time by. They save it, and the middle of the pack is in a frenzy now, and it looks like one man going to be in a much more precarious position. Brad Kress going to be all the way down to pit road that time by. He has damage, so does Jackson Hartman, it appears. They both come down at the same time. Kress having a bit more of a shake and a look at that close-up shot courtesy of the FDN camera team, and it is clear. The 29 got a bit of a slam there, and so did Dylan Petit. Petit's still going to be on the track right now. He's in 13th, but it looks like it's going to be able to buff out immediately. You did see, though, that he did rise right up that track, and he made it happen as the number 29 machine of Brad Kress going to be down on pit road. Now on the way, Jackson Hartman appears to be. He's going to get some tires, get himself right back out there as Ryan Potter, the number 99 machine, rounds the back in his own right, and the number 99 is in 25th. 54 laps in out of 147. Chad Winstead still going to be leading the way here, and now Casey Heschel looking to get his 1 lap back. That'll make him 12 laps down, and he gets it done quite easily. He's on a newer set of tires, though, so it doesn't mean all too much because he's not on the leading strategy. Winner of stage number 1, by the way, with Chad Winstead, and we didn't have a caution to announce it, but that is indeed the case. Winstead wins number 1 on the stage count, and he looks to be set to win number 2 if he stays out in front, but it ain't over till it's over. We always say that. It is never a guarantee until you see the stats for yourself. It looks like one man goes down to pit road that time by. Is it Dalton Beer? That it is, in the Spirit number 38 machine, and he's going to make a spirited drive down to the inside line, as it looks like now only 20 drivers on the lead lap. Jacob Hall going to be last, of which in that number 76 machine, now it's going to be Colton Gardner. Gardner looks to be set to go down pit road very soon, and he goes all the way up high. Does he dive down into the pit entry segment of the track? No, he does not. Just loses a lot of time in his own accord as Beer comes down pit road, and pit strategy is now in full swing. We saw some guys come down for damage before, but now a total of about 55, 56, 57 laps in, we are seeing strategy come into play. It could be a 1-stopper, a 2-stopper, depends on how these guys drive it. A guy like Winstead, who's about 3 seconds out on the remainder of the field, he knows he wants to keep himself in good spirits by just driving his heart out here. He has the 3-second edge on the remainder of the field. It's going to be now Scott Wheeler side by side with James McKee. And McKee has gotten right up to the man at the 97 machine that time by. They get side by side, and James McKee looks to do it once again. Now the 9 machine is going to be in second, and he has been on a roll tonight. He goes from 9th to 2nd in about 25 laps, and at a tricky track like Rockingham, that is an effort commendable in any league, let alone the competition we have here in the Highline Racing League. A great run for the man at the number 9 machine so far. How about that for James McKee? there in second. And no slouch, the number 9 machine is, as it looks like the 31 machine in Dylan Petit is right there with Matthew Rodriguez. That time by Dylan Petit, able to defend quite easily. He's in 14th as it stands. Take a look on the rear end of that 31. And down to the inside, it's going to be Matthew Rodriguez going to it. We don't even get a chance to see that onboard view, and now we'll take a look at it from a different perspective. On board with the man in that number 31 machine down the back. It looks like Rodriguez might just let him by, and that's what he does as the 51 dives it up the track once again, riding aboard with the number 31 Menards machine, and it looks like he saves himself some big money by not fencing himself for the pass, and he gets it done. Nonetheless, persistence and not aggression. They're similar in some cases and not in this one. As he gets by, Dylan Petit does nice and smooth, and a great effort for him through and through. Dylan Petit going to be in that number 31 machine as Matthew Rodriguez sees caution number 2 out on the track. And 61 laps in, it's going to be a major one. Ryan Potter looked to be involved in that one. Let's take a quick look back and find out just what happened. And Ryan Potter looks to be involved in caution number 2, and it looks like that time by, it's going to be a bit of a shuffle. Maybe off the back, we did see an incident, and it looks like he got it all wound up, tries to go around the outside of Connor Holden. He holds on, and no, he just loses it there, and loses all control of that number 99, comes down the track. Thankfully, it looks like nobody does hit him, and he's able to get it off the track immediately thereafter. The 99 loses it on his own accord, and it just looks to be a freak incident there, just losing handling, and everything about that car went the wrong way. 62 in out of 147, and Chad Winstead is your leading man so far in this event. But Chad Winstead out in front to lead themselves down to pit road. The leaders will indeed. And 62 in out of 147. That's going to end this first run for every leading driver. It's going to be Chad Winstead, of course, followed by James McKee, Scott Wheeler, Terry Brooks, and then Connor Holden now in 5th, as it looks like he gets that spot easily there on Ryan Potter. Now let's find out who comes out of pit road the best. As you can see, every driver making their way through. Terry Brooks going to be right there and checking out the drivers as far back as Jacob Holm. They're all coming at the same time and looking to see who comes out first. Let's find out. Jackson Hartman going to be 2 laps down, as is Kenny Brooks going to be 2 down as well. It looks like Casey Ashel is back, so no retiree in this event so far. 63 in out of 147. It now seems like it's going to be Jason McKee almost getting it there on Chad Winstead. Winstead, then McKee, Terry Brooks, Scott Wheeler. Then it's going to be the man in that number 81, Connor Holden. It'll be Kendall Kerr, DJ Stagner, Dylan Clark, Caleb Morrissey, then Adam Bozzi, Roberto Ramirez, Tyler Rush, Dylan Petit, and then Matthew Rodriguez in position number 14. It will be Jason Harrison 15th, as Winstead still leads them all out as more drivers go through and through once more. The 34 settles a score and gets it done at a pit road. First out of the entirety of the field. A few guys need to get their laps back, and that, of course, includes the man out in front of your leader. It's going to be AC Asher getting one back, so does Brad Kress, so does the man in that number 19, Jackson Hartman, and Kenny Brooks in the same token, Andrew Baker there as well, as it appears that every driver 1 lap down, bar Dalton Beer, will get one back. So the 34 machine out in front, 64 in at 147, looking to make it happen as he waits for the lap machines to get out of his way, and it will be his path for the taking as soon as they do just that. Almost halfway into this event with 2 yellows, one at the very start of this race and one during the green flag pit cycle. So certainly the most intense portion of any race brings out a very intense yellow that comes at the perfect time for some and an inopportune time for others. A major reset on strategy and a major reset on who has a chance to get it done in victory lane. Now James McKee gets the reset he needed. He's been able to climb through the field effectively. He's in the runner-up position, as is Terry Brooks going to be in 3rd. He's ran up front all night long. Scott Wheeler's been there. Connor Holden getting more and more consistent, far from complacent. Keep an eye out for him. And Kendall Kerr in that number 21 machine is going to keep himself in tow with your leaders as well. He's been running a nice and smooth race, so don't slouch on Kendall Kerr as he's now trying to catch up to his blacktop teammate in James McKee. McKee, as is, going to be in 2nd, and he has the key to success so far. Chad Winstead, though, seems to be the owner of the apartment that James McKee holds that key for. Success has been in his machine. That number 34 Ford Mustang since the very beginning, and he looks to hold on to it and sell it at the right time. And the opportune time to go will be in about a half lap's time as we say hello to restart number 2 on the circuit. 65 in out of 147. Next time around, it will be 66, and in the mix, the entirety of the field is no retiree bar Ryan Potter now. It looks like Potter is off the circuit 7 laps behind. So without further ado, let's get right back into it. It's going to be the man in the number 34 machine, Chad Winstead, out in front with James McKee second, then Terry Brooks third. And as the iRacing official pace car dives in once again, let's get right back to it. It's going to be the 34 there with the number 9 machine. So here we go. Once again, led by the 34. And 66 laps in out of 147, back underway. Double five going to be right there in the middle of the pack. Caleb Morrissey going to be in the mix with Adam Bozzi there. And fighters in that points championship contention. Morrissey going to be 6th on the board entering tonight. And it's going to be Adam Bozzi, your current points leader, inside the top 10, but only just. And he's certainly going to try to get through a few of these guys. Dylan Clark going to be there in that number 8 machine. A rookie with a victory this season. He got it done at Watkins Glen. A dominating road course performance. And right now, looking to get done yet another. As you can see, though, the number 5 machine caught up just a bit as Bozzi and Morrissey continue to fight. Look, take a look on board with the man of the number 5 machine and keep an eye on that battle as they are still side by side. Now, though, Morrissey does concede and Adam Bozzi has the edge as they get back into a green flag groove. Caleb Morrissey going to have to hold on very strong, but not strong enough to keep battling, as so far the closest battle on the racing circuit is once again in the battle in position number 18. Chance Duckworth's going to be in 28 in that numeric form position. He's going to be 18th, and then Colton Gardner 19 tries to get up to him. That time by, though, it does not work out. Now Jason Harris tries to make it happen there, and Corey Blevins. Alan Kuhlman tries the same on Harris, and the 8 and the 88 battle. It looks like it's going to be a Ford on Chevy that time by, but Kuhlman does not make much happen. 69 laps in out of 147. A nice run for the man out in front, and it looks like Chad Winstead able to take him to him once again. He has been on a roll thus far, and 70 laps in out of 147 is halfway there, and he now looks to have his sights set on yet another stage victory. No stage cautions in this league, and you keep going even if you get that stage of victory. The race is not over on stage 1 or stage 2. You just keep pushing, and as it stands, these drivers in the middle of the pack are pushing as hard as it gets. You can see now Corey Blevins is going to be side by side once again with Rodriguez, and that is for position number 14. That time by, Corey Blevins does have the edge. Rodriguez holds it high and keeping his head up high indeed. He tries to make it stick. He does get it to stick, but does not get the position. So we'll have to try again next time, and next time going to be this time as they go into 3 and 4 after Thunder Alley. Dylan Petit going to go way up high that time. Bond not able to keep a spot, and now locking it down. It looks like Corey Blevins does. 13 machine gets a bit squirrely. Petit once again looks to be a wall magnet. No major damage to his machine so far. Looks to be a bit of a lucky day for him as Jason Harris gets sucked up to the wall, and nothing more than he can do besides losing positions. Does not have that Dylan Petit magic tonight, although it now seems like it's going to be up to defense for Jason Harris to even hold on a chance. Duckworth. Up in front, though, it's going to be Caleb Morrissey in the wall, big, and we'll find out just what happened here. It's going to be very recent, and it seems like Morrissey fighting with Connor, holding that time by, and down the back, no major issue, trying to get all the exposition. It looks like Adam Bozzi dives down to the inside line in desperation. Morrissey falls down to 18th, by the way, and you can see Caleb's up high, and he just loses it in the same vein of Ryan Potter, and while he's able to save it without much damage, he does lose more and more time than he would have anticipated, and now he'll be down right behind Chance Duckworth. Chad Winstead, as is, does hold on 74 laps in out of 147, and as it stands, I believe the cross flags have indeed waved. 74 laps to go, and halfway in, take a lap on board with their race leader. And vehicular proficiency is the name of the game for Chad Winstead, taking a lap on board with your leader there. 73 laps to do it now, and time has been flying. Only 2 cautions so far, and now into the latter half of this event. 72 now to do it. It's going to be Tyler Rush, the 72 machine, just outside the top 10 as Ramirez holds on just within it. Dylan Clark could be 9th, Adam Bossie there in 8th. As Connor Holden holds on, it's going to be double file down the back. James McKee right there with Connor Holden. And while they're all going to be battling, Adam Bossie, your current points leader coming to tonight's event, is right there for the taking. And any opportunity, he'll have to go for it. He has only about a 10-point lead over the driver in that number 9 machine, James McKee. And McKee right now in front of him, gaining more and more time and position in that championship battle. And time is of the essence here. The second half of the season begins right here and right now. Just a few laps ago, halfway in the halfway race. So you know what this means? This is the second half of the season, and you got to drive as hard as you can to get it done now. Every lap matters. For Adam Bossie, your provisional points leader, it appears like points, well, they're of course part of the equation, but he just wants every position he can get as well. Now that same vein is going to be Tyler Rush battling Corey Blevins once again, and 2 drivers getting right into the swing of things in the past few races, getting right out of their shell. The 13 and the 72 have been great up in the front of the field as of recent, driving their hearts out time after time. Been great to see drivers develop such as Corey and Tyler. Great additions to the league up in front of the battle with guys as notable as Alan Kuhlman, Roberto Ramirez, Dylan Clark, and the like. You can see that drivers who have been here for years continue to get better and better and maturing as racers. Corey Blevins and Tyler Rush, they've been able to do just that. And right now, I'm not in much of a rush. Corey Blevins is more so than Tyler, and he gets right by Ramirez with ease. And now Alan Kuhlman puts down the pressure on Tyler Rush and tries to out-pizza the number 72, sponsored by Pizza Hut, of course. And stage 2 on its final lap, this time by for Chad Winstead. 68 laps to go in stage number 2 will end this time around. No luck for Terry Brooks to get it done. It looks like Chad Winstead has the second and final stage win easily, and that will be stage 2 to Chad Winstead. And how about that for him as we send it back to green flag action. The green and checkered waved on your screen, and now down Thunder Alley, the 34 machine keeps himself there in tow with Terry Brooks. Terry Brooks, as a matter of fact, only about a quarter of a second off your leading man all of this run, and it goes to show how quick the number 23 machine is for ASC Services and Supply, a great partner of this league, of course, and all the partners of the league come out to shine week after week. The premier sponsor of this league, ASC Services and Supply, and right now, the sponsor on your screen on the top of the board is going to be SP Designs of Asheville, North Carolina, right now represented well by James McKee, who was inside that top 2 very early on into this race. Right now, though, he is not there. It appears the number 9 machine has to move just a bit more to get up to DJ Stagner. Stagner's there in 4th. Far from stagnating. It's going to be Kendall Kerr with Scott Wheeler right now. And Wheeler, your defending champion, holding off one of the drivers who had to battle with last season to get it done. Of course, the 14th season of competition in the Highline Racing League, season 15. This is this year, and major developments have been made to this league. As you might know, the Highline Racing League Texacon Truck Series open up on Tuesday nights with River Page at the helm of the broadcast. A great show at Talladega, and a few of these guys will be eligible to run races in that series. And it looks like, while it won't be as often as, of course, full-time, you'd love to see it. All these guys coming out to support the new drivers in this league and developing talents that will be here in the Premier Series in the seasons to come. That time by, the 34 machine gets down the line with ease, and it's going to be Chad Winstead leading them with 23 laps to go in about 40 laps time. It's 63 on the board so far. If you enjoyed the action, be sure to leave a like on the channel and subscribe. Your support is always greatly appreciated. It's free, and we hope that it's fun for you to be around here. That support goes a long way, longer than you'd believe, quite frankly. Just a like on the stream, a subscription to the channel so you keep up to date with this league. Unlimited chat access comes with that subscription button, and we love to have you here all season long. We can't thank you enough. As 62 laps to go, Chad Winstead, I don't think he'll be thanking anyone more than his mechanics in the iRacing setup shop scene. As right now, down Thunder Alley, that number 34 machine has been on rails all night long, and the Stadium Scene TV 150 broadcasted on FTN and Stadium Scene TV at the same time. See that Winstead's just been on a roll. Look at the remainder of the field, though. It looks like Chance Duckworth is still battling with Jason Harris here. And it looks like Tyler Rush falling out of favor in the lead battle. Very unfortunate to see that. He had a great run going, but right now it looks like tires are getting to him, and 87 in out of 147. Now Jason Harris getting into him in that same vein. We're looking on board inside the number 88 machine. Let's see what Jason Harris can do. Harris that time by goes down to the inside line. Tyler Rush right there with him. Matthew Rodriguez is in frame as well. But Harris, every time he gets through the entry, is his big ticket to success. The exit, of course, looks to be dominated time after time visually by Tyler Rush, but every entry matters. And down to the inside line gets a much better diamond arc. And now getting better at even the strong suits of Tyler Rush. Harris adapts to his competition, and he uses it to become that much better of a driver. Nice work so far for the 88 machine, and I'm sure that it'll only get better with time here, as it looks like Tyler Rush is in a bit of trouble. Jeopardy, he might just be in it, as the 16th spot man in Jason Harris closes in on him time after time. And with 59 laps to go, time is of the essence indeed. That's a major factor, and of course, racing in this late stage. Terry Brooks now going to be the first man on the board, and take a look at your new race leader, and we'll take a look back to find out just how that happened. A side-by-side pass at the line, and Winstead let that gap go wide open, and the Terry Brooks machine able to get it done, and Brooks looking for his first win in over a season here, and now the 23 machine out in front, and look at him go. Terry Brooks now able to steal the show, and Chad Winstead sees that Scott Wheeler is coming up as well. Is this the end? And it appears we are back under service now. There was a bit of an issue with our internet connection for tonight's event. We should be good to go from here on out. Less than 50 laps to go in tonight's event. And as it stands, when we last looked at the broadcast, well, Terry Brooks was the race leader, got right by Chad Winstead in the 34, and Scott Wheeler was ready to pounce as well. We should be able to clear ourselves for tonight's event and go on from there. This is, of course, the Stadium Scene TV 150 from Rockingham Speedway, and we're almost into the session, giving us just a bit more time to get in, and we should be good to go from there on out. Once again, thank you for stopping by tonight's event, and we are 8 races into the Highline Racing League ASC Services and Supply Series season. Of course, the 15th season of this series. Right now, we are just about a second away from putting the broadcast back onto your screen. So as we get it going, we'll be right back, and we will have the remainder of the coverage uninterrupted. Thank you all once again for tuning in, as we should be right back in, and it looks like that we are. And your leading driver, as it stands, is going to be the driver of that number 23. Of course, we last took a look, and we're going to be right back on your screen, and it should be right there right about now. Here we go. There's the number 23 machine back in frame. There's James McKee as well, and the 23 still fighting as hard as he can out in front here in Rockingham as a lap 109 out of 147, 38 laps to do it here in the Rockin'. We are moving once again. As it stands, though, Chad Winstead, according to timing scoring, has a major gap now, and he's been able to gap the field far and wide. Patience, it is key. And the 34 machine going to be back out in front. The number 34 gets it done for now, but it's far from over. It seems like strategy is still in play. Brooks gets a bit squirrely that time. By though, James McKee goes down to the inside line and tries to make it happen. That time he gets oh so close. No cigar just yet. It's far from confirmed, but McKee looks to have that pass set in stone. Nice and smooth. James McKee gets it done. Terry Brooks is going to be right there in third, and it's going to be DJ Stagner there in fourth, with Kendall Kerr riding at the top 5. Chad Winstead now has a 3.6 second gap on the remainder of the field. How about that? And what a way to get it going for the driver of that number 97, of course, starting it up front, but now it's going to be the 34 who has it all the way. Now, Strawberry Kid 59, do we have a picture on the screen right now? It appears on my end that we do. And once again, apologies for the interruption, but we should be good to go from here on out. As it stands, it's going to be 8 races in Indy. James McKee gets right there in second. Terry Brooks is in third, and DJ Stagner right there in fourth. Keeps him honest as Kendall Kerr's inside the top 5 as well, and driving through and through. 113 laps in out of 147. Chad Winstead has almost a 4-second advantage here in the Rock, and Dylan Batiste in the 9th spot in that 31 machine is getting down to the back straightaway. Once again, the closest battle on the track, it appears to be in the back of the pack, as it seems to be the most exciting racing is there. Now it actually looks to be 11 that's considered the back of the pack. Only 20 drivers on the lead lap, and it's gotten closer and closer to swallowing up more drivers as the night goes on. Rodriguez battling with Dylan Clark. Clark gets a bit squirrely that time by Monty Rodriguez, and Dylan Clark getting to the wall that time by oh so close to disaster, and it looks like they all hold on, and that time by major kerfuffle. It looks for the 5 machine going to be able to keep it going. Dylan Clark now follows back 1. It looks like Dalton Beer now going to be in trouble. The 38 machine comes down pit road easily for him to keep it going, as Adam Bozzi is there in 6. Now a side-by-side battle develops between Corey Blevins and the number 81 machine right there with Connor Holden. And as they keep it going, and Stadium Scene TV, thank you for stopping by. Thankfully, we were able to get it going. Now, we did not want this to happen at all, but due to some inclement situations regarding weather in our area, it looks like the internet situation has been dire. A lot of customers have been dropped off from our local internet service providers, and thankfully for our sake, we are still going, and we'll bring the checkered flag through and interviews to get this one back on the groove. Chad Winstead out in front. He's been in the groove all night long. We did see he got temporarily passed by Terry Brooks, but Brooks falls back. And Stagner going to be in that 4th spot, indeed, running oh so well for the man in that number 64. Kendall Kerr going to be in 5th. It's going to be Adam Bozzi there in the 6th spot, with Corey Blevins there in 7th. Connor Holden now going to be in the 8th position. Dylan Batiste going to be in 9th. And Matthew Rodriguez rounds out your top 10, as right now it's going to be Kenny Brooks getting closer and closer, as Terry Brooks has gotten further and further away from the good majority of the field. A lot of drivers are still oh so close to one another, and right now, one of those drivers that is not in a similar situation than that, well, James McKee and Chad Winstead. That time by, though, it does appear that Winstead lost about a second or so. He's now in lap traffic, as you can see right in front of him. It's going to be the driver of that number 34 facing the 38, and Dalton Beer is in front of the leader, but not by much, so I don't think it means all too much. But now it looks like Terry Brooks is faster than your leader, and he is gaining big. Now make that 2.5 seconds with 29 laps to go on the board here. Time is running out, and it looks like James McKee using every lap to his advantage. Data line once again, make it 28 laps to go here, and Chad Winstead holds on in position number 1. How about the way that he's been running? The 34 keeps it going strong. Kendall Kerr going to be in 5th. Adam Bozzi's in 6th. But the battle for the lead getting closer and closer, 10th after 10th here. We'll keep an eye on it as we see the remainder of the field has its battles as well. It looks like Roberto Ramirez on a 10-lap-old set of tires. That time by, he does get by the driver of the 28 machine, Chance Duckworth. Jacob Holm now tries to make it a double pass. However, Ramirez not going to battle Duckworth in position when it comes to the lead lap. Ramirez, as it stands, is 1 lap down. Might be able to get that spot back during the pit cycle, the final one if we get one. But right now, the 42. And Chad Winstead, your leading man with 25 laps to do it, has it out in front of James McKee. Terry Brooks, of course, going to be there in 3rd. And DJ Stanger keeps himself in tow there in 4th. It's going to be Kendall Kerr inside the top 5. And right now, the battles in the mid-pack are as fierce as they can get. Chad Winstead, though, is able to hold on out in front. Your leader has been far from trouble all night long. And with now 24 laps to do it, it seems like he should be able to come out with a victory if he just keeps it on the track. Right now, he's been able to keep it on the track very nicely, and no driver has been close in distance. However, one man who's been closing in is James McKee in that number 9 machine, and as James McKee gets closer and closer, it's 23 laps to do it here in Rockingham. And the Rock has been a challenge to most drivers, but one man who's been able to get away for the good majority of it is Chad Winstead in 23, going to become 22 laps to go, and you know what that means. Your TrackCams22.com, crank it up with the best cameras on iRacing. Back in display. We'll be right back live on FTN. We hope you enjoy this brief interruption. And the final stretch is on here in Rockingham. Only 17 more laps to do it. And the man out in front in Chad Winstead knows how it feels to be a winner in the Highline Racing League. We've seen him do it before, and he's done it in dominating fashion before indeed. Winning at Mid-Ohio before last season, but this season trying to turn anew and get the first victory on his campaign in season number 15. As it stands, lap after lap, he gets through without much trouble. James McKee, however, has been quicker overall. well. He's gained about 7/10 of a second in the last 15 laps, but it has not been enough to get even close enough to make even a charge at the man in the number 34 machine. And while he's quicker, lap machines like Chance Duckworth are now in play and might be in play until the checkered flag falls. Colton Gardner going to be there in that number 40 machine. Jason Harris going to be in the 14th spot overall in the 88, as Alan Kuhlman only gets one spot in front of the Harris machine in 13th. He started this race very strong, Alan Kuhlman did, but it looks like over time, the 8 machine has fallen to the wayside and has become more of an afterthought in this event in the lead complexion. Not the best run for Kuhlman right now, as it looks like Matthew Rodriguez to go into the number 51. Dylan Clark now going to be side by side there with the number 54. Kenny Brooks gets by. Brooks is, of course, as we mentioned beforehand, not in the leading battle as it stands. Brooks is 15 laps down. A few drivers that are multiple laps down are still racing, including Kenny Brooks, Andrew Baker, Casey Eschel, Brad Kress, Dalton Beer in the mix as well. Roberto Ramirez, however, is only 1 lap down, and so is Chance Duckworth. Duckworth, as is, would be your lucky dog if we got one more caution. It does look like, as it stands, that is not going to be likely, but it could, of course, happen. Anything is possible this late in the going, and with 13 laps more to do, Chad Winstead goes down to the inside line once again to try to get through yet another lap machine. Competition has been sparse out in front, and the man out in front indeed, Chad Winstead, knows what it'd like to win, and right now victory is all his mind is set on. He is about 2 seconds off of his best lap overall. And that is the case. Chad Winstead, your leading man, still going to be there. James McKee going to be in second. It's going to be Terry Brooks in the third position as DJ Stagner holds on in fourth. A dozen laps to do it, and it's going to be less than that next time around, and that it is. 11 laps to go here in the Stadium Scene TV 150. And we got to thank Stadium Scene TV for their partnership with the Highline Racing League and the Fireball Talks NASCAR YouTube channel. Stadium Scene TV, a very great opportunity for any content creator looking to get their foot in the door. Social media promotion, of course, a lot of aggregation and some great content to find on that YouTube channel they have, I believe, a great one there. But their website, stadiumscenetv.com or stadiumscene.com, is the best place to go for all of their action to keep up and close with all of the FTN action that we have, as well as much other sports content. It's always the best place to go for anything up and coming in the content creation scene. Stadium Scene TV, a proud partner of this league and a proud partner of the Fireball Talks NASCAR YouTube channel. 138 laps out of 147, make it 139 that time by, as Brad Kress is now in jeopardy of going one more down. James McKee now going to be 3 seconds off of your leading man. It looks like the 9 machine has fallen back further than anticipated. And down Thunder Alley once again, the number 9 machine is now more than 3 off for the first time in about 10 odd laps. Terry Brooks is there in third, side by side with Roberto Ramirez. He gets by Ramirez that time by, and the 23 machine gets through easily, and 8 laps to do it that time by. Not going to be a battle for position. The next man to battle McKee for position will be 4 seconds down. The next man to battle Terry Brooks, 3.5 down, and that is DJ Stagner. Far from stagnation all night long, Stagner's been able to climb through the field. I believe he will be a hard charger on tonight's event, qualifying outside the top 20 and now inside the top 5 with a total of 7 more laps to do it here in the Highline Racing League's 8th event of the season, and it is the halfway mark of the 15th season in this series, and you know that every driver wants to get it done. 15 seasons in the Highline Racing League Centennial at Watkins Glen this season as well. This one has been all about history, and right now the 34 machine, throwing it back in part to Mark Martin, is doing the man who drove the Valvoline machine in the NASCAR Cup Series proud time and time once more. Tonight, looking to get it done and settle the score for a victory, and with 6 to do it, he has a great chance at getting it done. We'll see whether or not he's able to seal the deal, though, as Dylan Petit right now gaining on Adam Bozzi, and Bozzi not having the strongest start to his night, but he's gotten much closer to where he wants to be as their points leader. He might just be able to get out of this one unscathed. Might hold on all the way, might not. That remains to be seen. Dylan Petit going to be right there with Dalton Beer as they go up high once again. Dalton is going to go down there, and while they're not battling for position, Dalton Beer trying to show what he's got on the board right now. 5 laps to do it, and it's either going to be about hot lap heroics or consistency down the line, and it will be 4 laps more. for the man who's had the show in his hands all night long, the Stadium Scene TV 150, and he has held this one in the palm of his hands. He has set the scene for every driver besides himself, and he's now going to come up with a few who are just inside that lead lap. As it stands, 13 drivers are in the lead lap, and the last of which is Alan Kuhlman, to go side by side with Connor holding that time by. Tyler Rush gets the better of the both of them and now chases down Corey Blevins. A long run has been kind to both of those drivers, and down to the inside line, Tyler Rush makes it happen there on Corey Blevins. Connor Holden going to be there in 12th. It's going to be Alan Kuhlman in 13th, and Chad Winstead now gaining on all of them, and it looks like Kuhlman looking to stay on the lead lap. Not as aggressive as we'd expect, of course. Late in the going, you don't want to wreck your machine, but he certainly wants to check out what he can do to keep himself in perhaps contention for a lead lap finish. That time by, make it 3 laps to go. The drivers in the back of the pack are fighting as the leader comes right up on them. Corey Blevins gets to the wall big time there, and they'll be double file with the number 34 machine coming right up on him. And now Tyler Rush in the wall right in front of the leader. It looks like calamity right now. The 72 machine gets messed up, and so does the number 13. They're going to be 3 abreast that time by, and they all shake themselves off, and now it's going to be time for the 34 to bake one more good lap. The white flag's out here in Rockingham. 3.8 seconds back, James McKee is, and they're all sliding back and forth. Degradation is major. That time by, Winstead ran at 26.882, and despite the challenges, this track continues to hold down through Thunder Alley. Winstead's going to be able to lead him, and it looks like he will be able to beat him through 147 laps. The man at the top of the board gets it done all the way. Chad Winstead wins the Stadium Scene TV 150 in a commanding fashion. The number 34 gets it done from The Rock. And Winstead, your race winner here from Rockingham. A great finish. And while the tires wore out and while the cautions might have worn out the driver, nobody could beat him all night long. One man who was impeccable. Who else but the driver of the 34? Brad Crest, who was inside line there. The lap machines were given a run for their money, and only 10 men finish on the lead lap. A dominating display, and this had cautions too. Think of what it could have been in the case that we did not see any. How about that, as Chad Winstead comes home to the top of the board over James McKee in second, Terry Brooks in third, 10 seconds back. Dylan Petit going to be in fourth, and Kendall Kerr rounds out your top 5, 14 seconds back. Then it's going to be Adam Bosley in position number 6, TJ Stagner there in 7, Dylan Clark going to be in 8th, Matthew Rodriguez going to be 9th, with Alan Kuhlman rounding out your top 10. Then it's going to be Connor Holden 1 lap down, so is Corey Blevins, Colton Gardner, Roberto Ramirez in 14th, and Jason Harrison 15th, as Chance Duckworth finishes in 16th. Jacob Hahn get right there in 17th. Then it's going to be Tyler Rush in 18th. From there, now going to be Dalton Beer in 19th. Brad Crest there in position number 20. Andrew Baker 21st. Casey Asher going to be 22nd. Kennedy Brooks 23rd. And Scott Wheeler Jr. going to be in 24th. Jackson Hartman 25th. As Caleb Morrissey is going to be 26th in his own right. Jackson Hartman 25. As Ryan Potter is 27th on the board, and Dylan Body 28th. And last finishes this one off as the man at the number 34 machine gets ready to burn down the house. And take a look at him go. This is Chad Winstead getting it done in the Stadium Scene TV 150. Jubilation from domination as he gets it done in The Rock. And it looks like as it stands, Chad Winstead there on the circuit, and he has it parked just by the start-finish line. Give us just a moment to get your interview systems in play. We will be right back as soon as we get it all sorted out as Chad Winstead gets it done far and away here in Rockingham. How about that victory for him as he gets it done in style? The checkered flag suits him as no other driver had the grip on this race the same way he did. And we'll bring it right back to get the video feed on your end. Chad Winstead, the man on a mission, gets it done here in the Stadium Scene TV 150 domination for the 34. And he's been waiting for this one all season long, and it comes to him at just the right time. How about that for the man at the top of the board? Chad Winstead, the Valvoline number 34, gets it done from Rockingham, and nobody else on your level all night long. How you feeling after this one?
I'm feeling great, man. That was an awesome run. My hands are definitely a little tired and a little sweaty, but I'm feeling good. I'm happy to be back in victory lane.
And great to see you back in victory lane, this time by at Nova in Rockingham, one of the trickiest of which. So what kept you up there all night long?
Just had good pace here. I don't know. I feel like I figured something out in around the lines of the track that it seemed like I was running a slightly different line than everybody else. And just kept up the pace, just stayed consistent, and saved my tires. I was shocked when I came down pit road that first caution there, and changed the tires, and had just really good tire savings. I think that had a lot to do with it.
And tire saving, the name of the game, with some longer runs than tonight's event. Very few cautions. So when it came down to it, how did you conserve your tires here? As a lot of drivers seem to burn them up.
Yeah, I found a good groove, and just a lot of feathering the throttle around here. It's a track to run. It's a track that's hard to run wide open in the middle of the turn. You got to really feather the throttle and just be easy with it. And I guess tweaked some of the stock settings there with the steering ratio and whatnot, and just found something that felt good in practice, and then ran with it, and it seemed like it helped with the tires.
And it helped with the tires there, indeed. Nobody on your level here tonight in Rockingham. Yet another tricky track on the schedule that we saw. Now, next up on the schedule, we'll pull it up right now to see what's going on. Rockingham, race number 8 in the second half. Next up is going to be 5 flats, and that's going to be a wrench in the equation now after a track like Rockingham going even shorter with the second half of the season in mind. Intensity might ramp up. What's it going to take to get it done there at Pensacola?
Yeah, I think some good track position to start the race, and just staying out of trouble with these short tracks here. And hopefully I'll be up at the front near the end there as well. I don't know really what to expect racing there in these cars, but it should be a blast either way.
And that's what we hope to hear, a blast tonight for Chad Winstead to get it done. Dominating display from the Rock. And your final thoughts, we'll leave this one off, and anyone else you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'm just glad that I was able to get in victory lane. It was a much needed win. Being so down in the points this year and struggling. I want to thank Dylan for the awesome paint scheme tonight that I ran last week as well, and thank my wife for staying up and watching the race, friends and family that are out there watching the race. So thank you for putting this on, and hopefully we'll keep this run up.
And a great run to build some momentum in the second half of the year. Chad Winstead gets it done here in Rockingham, the Stadium Scene TV 150. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And there we have it. Winstead getting back on his way as the man in second gets a great boost of momentum in the championship fight. We're halfway there, and James McKee gets it done in race number 8 in the second position. How was it out there in Rockingham?
I will say my right hand hurts from how loose it was coming out of 4. But it was a lot of fun. Tire management was definitely the name of the game, and Chad did his job.
And it seems like tire management played a major factor for every driver involved. Now, what was it for you to get the successful management of your tires? Because almost any other driver seemed to pale in comparison to you guys up front.
Just at the start of the restarts, I was just trying to take it easy, just roll the corners as much as possible, and then not hit the gas coming off the exits to really spin the rear tires. And luckily, after about 20.
Thank you for tonight's event. The long runs, a lot of guys taking some wrong turns. What kept you up there in the longer runs, despite the tire wear overall? It seems like it was a bit of a challenge to manage it overall, regardless of tires.
I was just trying to take care of it at the beginning of a run. I just rolled through the corner real easy in the entry, and then let it just ease on the gas off the exit, just trying not to spin the rear tires on each corner, because both corners are really tough to get off of. if you hit the gas too hard, you were going to whip to the left. So just had to protect them as much as possible.
And protection was key for the driver of the 9 machine. Now, Pensacola next race on the schedule. What's it going to take to tackle that ever-tricky track, a short track, as the second half of the season gets in full swing?
Hopefully a little bit of patience, but I feel like we're going to have a lot of impatience over there. Going to be a lot of bumps, bump and runs, but should be fun nonetheless.
And that's what we hope to see. The driver of the 9 machine, James McKee, comes home here in second in Rockingham. Any final thoughts to wrap this one off?
Just looking forward to next week. Appreciate you as always, broadcast, and then my teammates doing a great job. We're having a good season so far, and yeah, that's it.
And there we have it. James McKee on the way, second place tonight here in Rockingham. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And there we have it. The next man on the board going to be the driver of the number 23 machine, Terry Brooks. Gets it done on the podium tonight. A lot of speed in that number 23. What kept you up there all night long?
It's just, I really enjoy Rockingham. It's a fun track. It's really, really rough. Got to save tires. Can't overcharge the corners. Had a couple lucky things happen. Kept us up there. Hate it for Casey and Scott. Both of them had really good cars, and just the track got them. These cars are really tough. Setup was tough, but we had speed. Just not enough to keep up with those front two.
And a major challenge to keep it on the track all night long. It appears a lot of guys not able to make it happen the way they wanted to, of course. So for your end, of course, what was it that really kept you in the tire game? Because it seems like the tires were above all else.
Just trying to be smooth on the braking, smooth steering wheel inputs, really, really non-aggressive, trying to get back into the gas. And I think I passed Chad 15 laps after the caution. Got the lead, had the lead for maybe a lap or two. Got a little too aggressive off forward. I had to go all the way to the bottom to catch it, and he went right back by. It was just, there was no room for mistakes tonight, and I got lucky and didn't make a whole lot.
And no room for mistakes indeed here from Rockingham, at another track that will have even less room is the one next up on the schedule, Pensacola, for round number 9. 5 flags is the way to go for us. And going to that short track, what's it going to take for every driver here? Because a lot of drivers, not a lot of track. I'm not sure how it's going to go down.
It really should be really good racing. It typically runs really good side-by-side racing. The top line's hugging the bottom line, but you got a little bit of apron cut. Getting good, clean, straight exits off the corner is going to be a key factor. And just not overcooking the entry to where you overshoot the center and burn the right front up and trying to make the turn is going to be the key. I think it'll be a lot of tire conservation. Hopefully, we get a lot of long green flag runs, because here late part of this season, we've had a lot of green flag racing, and that puts on a good show, and it makes it really fun for us driving, just to have all those challenges and different strategies to play out.
And the strategies have been versatile, and that's what we hope to see when we go racing once again in 5 flags. For the night in Rockingham, it's going to be Terry Brooks, third man on the podium here in the Stadium CNTV 150. Any final thoughts to wrap this one off, and anyone else you'd like to thank?
Just like to thank ASC. I'd like to thank y'all for putting on the broadcast. I'd like to thank Highline for putting the whole league together. It's just a great group of guys to race around, and appreciate everything y'all do for us.
And there we have it. Terry Brooks on his way. A great run for him inside that podium. The number 23 machine, third on the night. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And there we have it. Terry Brooks on its way, and that will be the final interview of tonight's event. We hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast of the Stadium Scene TV 150. Next time we'll be live. We'll actually be tomorrow with the Fantasy NR Cup Series. When we go back to iRacing, the double on Saturday, it's going to be River Page and Mason Moriarty taking on the Stock Car Racing League and the Full Send Super Speedway Series. We hope you see you there. Thank you all for watching. The next time we go racing on Thursday night, we'll be at Pensacola for round 9 of the season of the Highline Racing League ASC Services and Supply Series. Thank you all once again for watching. I hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. I've been David Kreutz, and we hope to see you whenever we're live once again on FTN.